How can you de-hypnotize yourself from all those crazy beliefs, stories, and negative thoughts and emotions that you have that are limiting you, blocking you, preventing you from creating and living the best life that you want? And this is quite a different approach, because often as a hypnotherapist, I have clients come and they feel like, I want to be, hypnotized to believe in myself, to achieve what I want, to be successful, to feel better, to have the amazing relationship with myself and others. And often what I tell them is that what you need is not to be hypnotized, but to be de-hypnotized. Because we all have been hypnotized probably for most of us since we're very young, since we're born, with other people's beliefs. Other people's shoulds. This is what you should do. This is how you should eat. This is how you should behave. This is how you should live your life. And this is what you must do. This is what you should not and never do, kind of thing. So we have all these accumulations of beliefs. And we have our personal experiences that shape our self-image. We have our failures, our successes, all those things that happen. We have our views about the world, about people, and we have our views about ourselves. All these kind of things create your personal reality right now. And we are really much asleep, walking unconscious, letting all those programs, it's like wearing those glasses, right? And you don't see the world that it is, because the world is meaningless. You know something to be YouTube because you've been told that it's called YouTube. You've been told it's good. You've been told you assigned all those meaning to a certain things. But the world is devoid of any meaning. But we are wearing those glasses and we see everything around us, even ourselves, through those glasses. And so you could say that we're just walking unconscious, unaware of most of that paradigm that's controlling us. And sometimes we have little glimpses of beliefs. That's not helping me. I'm not good enough. That's, who told me that I'm not good enough? Who told me that I'm too tall? Who told me that I'm a slow learner? Who told me that I'll never be good enough? We become aware of little things like that every now and then. And overcoming those little beliefs, we can start to grow beyond those. And then our life starts to become different, because we live what we believe. So if you believe you're stupid and ugly, you're going to live a stupid and ugly life. And that is not good or bad. It is what it is, because we live what we believe. And so it's impossible for you to see greater than your lenses, except for those moments where you have the awareness that you're wearing those lenses and where you can put them down and look again. And in that moment, you start to de-hypnotize yourself. You awaken from the matrix, the code that you've created, self-perpetuating in your life. As the Buddha says, with our mind, we create the world. But I think to add up, before we create the world with our mind, the world, our parents, our society, people around us, create our mind. Especially in the 7 years when we are extremely suggestible to new information and we absorb everything. But today, wherever you are in your life, you cannot blame anything, because today you have the ability to research, to learn, to have new knowledge, to think greater, to imagine greater, to become greater, and to have that moment of introspection, to look at your experiences and ask yourself, how did I create that? What do I need to believe in order to create this in my life? And it's your personal responsibility to take responsibility for your life and to save yourself if you don't like how you're showing up and what's happening, what is showing and reflecting in your life. And so that's what I call de-hypnotizing yourself. And it's a process of self-love. You don't do it because there's something wrong with you, because that creates resistance. That is also one of the greatest shadow that most people in the personal growth and spiritual community don't see in themselves, is they're constantly trying to fix themselves. And the more they fix themselves, the more they have things to fix, because they come from a place where they feel they're broken, or they feel like something's wrong with them, or they need to be fixed. So it's so important to realize that you de-hypnotize yourself from a place of love. From a place of love. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just a thought. You are not your mind, you are not your beliefs, you are not your emotions, you're not your body, you are the observer. And you can surrender those beliefs forgive them, and choose something greater. Simply because you have the ability and the power to do so. So as you start to reflect in your life, and this is really how you do it. The process of dehypnotizing yourself start by self-inquiry, having those glimpses of moments where you become self-aware. What is that story I've been keep telling myself? Why do I keep telling myself that I'm broke, that everything's too expensive, that I don't have the time, the money to start my business? It's not. Where is that thought, that story coming from that's looping all the time? Or maybe a different story in different area of your life. Or maybe you start to go on a date and you start to see yourself always creating the same pattern, always feeling unconscious, insecure, always feeling yourself unattractive, that people will not like you if you're just authentic and yourself. Where are those beliefs, those perceptions, those projections coming from? And you have to start taking a look between yourself. And one of my personal favorite questions is, how did I create this? So if things are not working out, you have to start inquiring and taking personal responsibility and asking yourself, how did I create this? Can start to open up thinking in your mind. Well, if I'm showing up again in this situation and this happens again and it's a pattern, how do I keep on creating this? Another good question is, how and what do I need to believe in order to create this in my life? What do I believe about myself that keeps on creating this? Maybe I need to work hard to make money. If you're rich and if you have too much money, people will leave you, or people will use you, people will only love you for your money, whatever. Maybe you think that you're too ugly or that you're not smart enough or whatever. Those are just examples, but you really have to look deep between yourself. And as you start to reflect, you have that gap that opens up. It's like, let's say you're holding on to that belief so firm for so long, you never questioned it. And now you start to look around about it. And you start to question, is it really true that I'm not pretty the way I am? Is it really true that I'll never be good enough? Is it really true? And as you start to answer that question and contemplate the answer, you start to loosen up the grip of the belief in your life. Because here's the thing, the question here is so beautiful, because if you ask yourself, is this, whatever the thought, whatever the belief is this really true? And if the answer is not true, you start to really loosen up the grip of that belief, because now you have a space to be like, hang on, what is true then? If this is not the full truth, what is the truth? And now you have a space again to start thinking greater, to start thinking outside of the box that you've been stuck for so long. Well, maybe I can generate more money. Maybe there's a greater way to approach the situation. Maybe I'm okay the way I am. Maybe all I need to do is accept myself. Maybe all I need to do is to believe in myself. What if I was to start thinking that I can do it too? Right? So you're starting to have those greater thoughts about yourself, and if you keep on doing it, and if you start emotionalizing those thoughts, you start breaking and you start awakening. It's like Neo in the Matrix, boom, wow. And now you start to, when you break free from an older level of consciousness, you never go back. Once you have that awareness, and it might take you time, and you may have those ups and downs of one moment I don't believe it, one moment I'm unconscious to it. It's all part of the process. But you never go back to being unconscious. Once you awaken to that and you go higher, you never go back into lower state of consciousness. So this is the process of truly self-inquiry and dehypnotizing yourself to the old beliefs, the whole stories, the whole emotions and pattern that are holding you back, that are preventing you from living your best life. And as you dehypnotize yourself, you give yourself the greatest tool, which is to choose, how am I going to show up in my life from now on? What am I going to choose to believe is true about myself, about the world? Maybe you believed in the past that the world is a competitive, dangerous, scary place that's going to knock you down every chance it gets, and all you have to do is try to survive. A lot of people live with that paradigm. Well, maybe if this is not the truth, what is the truth? Could you believe that this is an abundant universe that is friendly and supportive, that got your back and that wants you to succeed, that wants you to be happy, and that you got the whole universe by your side, ready to support you? Imagine how fundamental of a shift in your life having a belief like that shifted. So as you awaken from your sleepwalking around life, you give yourself the greatest tool, which is personal transformation, like a phoenix rising again. So this is it. Ask yourself those questions, reflect, inquire, observe your thoughts, ask yourself greater questions. How do you create that? Is this true? And choose what is the truth for you now. And the truth will set you free. See you next time, guys. Please like, share this video. Let me know what you think down in the comment. I would love to hear from you. And I'll see you next time. Be well.